Okay, so I am down along the little creek that is near our house. In fact, you can hear the kids play. They're always around somewhere. That's okay, I like to be able to hear them. But I'm down here today because I want to get this. Most of you know it as Bee Balm, but actually this is Wild Bergamot, Bee Balm's sister, cousin, however you want to look at it. Which I didn't know that until just here recently. The lighter blooms are of the same family. They're all of the mint family, which you can tell as soon as you was to get a leaf and smell it. They're all in the mint family. But there's a couple pretty good sized patches of it down here. So I came to get some for tea. I also was looking up some recipes that I want to try. I found a recipe for a shortbread cookie. And of course there's jam, tea, tinctures. They also use it in salves. And salads. I was finding that. But I'm going to use it for teas. And I might try the cookies, the shortbread cookies. I think that would be fun. Something the kids would like. And I don't know. Probably won't do a tincture with it because I have so many other tinctures. But I don't know. I never know. But I am definitely wanting some for some tea. And this is actually kind of getting past its prime. But for tea, you want the leaves and the petals. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. It smells so good. But anyway, I'm going to pick some of those. And on my way down here, I haven't had a chance to get out and really walk around and look too awful much. Not as much as I would like to. So, anyway, they're having a disagreement down there. On my way down here, I found some cleaver. There's more up there. I didn't pick it all. I just got one little piece, but that's exciting to know where some of these things are growing, where I can look for those. So that's exciting. Anyway, there's also what looks like wild raspberry here. There is willow here, right beside me. I mean, the really cool thing about being back in this area is all the stuff that's growing that I can harvest. It's really fun to see all the different things that I'd kind of forgotten about. And maybe I didn't even know when I was out here before because I was early in my learning about the herbal remedies and stuff. And now I've learned more, so I recognize more than I did before maybe. I don't know, but it's just so much stuff. And it's nice. Anyway, I'll turn you around here so you can see what I'm looking at. The Bee Balm, or Wild Bergamot. And there's a bunch of little willows here. Willow bark is really good for pain, and I have used it for pain, and it does work. And then here's some jewelweed. They're not blooming, but they're there. Over here is more jewelweed. And then I think this is bittercress. I know it's edible too. And so is this. But for the life of me, I can't remember what this is right now. Cannot. And then here is the wood sorrel. Also edible. Not as much medicinal as edible, but it's good in salads and stuff. You can use it for tea as well. And the cleaver I found right in here. So there's quite a bit of it down in here. More jewelweed. Quite a bit of the cleavers down in here. But yeah, just a short little walk from my yard and I can find all these things. Not to mention all the things that are growing actually in the yard, the plantain and There's chickweed, plantain, comfrey. Oh my goodness, somebody's always unhappy. Wild raspberry, wild blackberry, all of those things. There's also, look here, a little bit of honeysuckle left. And here is one of the jewelweeds starting to bloom. But anyway, that's for another day. Today I was mostly focusing on the bee balm. Be blessed. Hello. Good morning, even though it's like 100 degrees out here already. The humidity is not as bad right now as it has been. But right now, we are in the garden, and I thought I would do a little bit of a garden update with you all. Let me get around here and turn the camera around so we can see what we've been doing. Okay, so all of that is corn. Like half of our garden is literally corn. However, we had some, and we planted 3 rows, and then the neighbor showed up after we were done, so we have a random row of beans, like right in there. And then we have more corn over here, because he showed up after we'd already planted the corn and started the beans. Otherwise, we would have had all the corn together instead of stacking it out like that. But it is what it is. My Levi has been out here pulling weeds, because if you noticed in my last video, or one of my last videos, it was really weedy, and the only thing we have left to do is this. We do not have a tiller right now that's working or even small enough to go between the rows, so we're doing it by hand. I mean, that's just how we've done it for years anyway, so it is what it is. But you can see this is all squash, summer squash, winter squash. Same with this, zucchini, squash. We've got some butternuts clear down on the end there, but it's all summer and winter squash. And then we have 2 rows of onions, but, well, not 2 whole rows. 1 whole row and a little quarter of a row there. The only onions I could find this late in the season were red onions. So that's all we have planted is red onions. But it is what it is. And then 2 nights ago, we put another full row of green beans in. We put another full row of summer squash and a couple winter squash that I had to open pack. So we just threw a couple hills in this row. And then on the fence down there, we have some pole beans that we planted. They were older seeds, so I don't know if they're going to do anything or not. We'll see. And this whole outer row here are cucumbers. And we did put some more cucumbers in over in here, but this entire outer row is cucumbers until you get to the end here. And this was lettuce, and we've already planted this once. We have 3 short little rows, you can see them staked here, of lettuce, but they didn't come up. So we replanted that again as well. And then every one of our tomatoes and peppers are doing phenomenal. We didn't lose a single one. I know sometimes in transplanting we end up losing a tomato or a pepper plant, but they're all doing absolutely phenomenal. And on the red, that's a piece of a bed frame. We are utilizing what we have here, folks. That is the yard long beans. One side is the purple and one side is the green. And then we put some old pole beans along this. We'll see how it does. And if they start going too high, we'll probably run string across here for them to climb as well if needed. But yeah, it's coming along. Look at these. We have several different kinds of cucumbers. I know a lot of folks are probably tomato on there. That's a pretty good size. A lot of folks are probably a lot more advanced. Their garden's probably a lot more advanced, but we got it in late. There's also, right there, a few beets. We just did like 1 pack of beets. And there's a few of them coming up. I've never had great success with beets here, but they are coming up. But yeah, it's coming along and we're really excited. It's gonna be a little later, I know, but that's okay. That's okay. Better late than never. And I looked up the frost date for this area and it was like mid-October, which is literally like, I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months later than what I'm used to. So that's kind of cool because I'm used to, like, you've already got snow in October when in Montana. Your first frost date's like September usually. But we're excited and things are coming on. And then yesterday afternoon, the boys set me up a small little raised bed for my herb plants that I had bought. And got it. And we're getting those planted this morning while we're still in the shade, because I don't know if you noticed, but most of the garden is still shady right now. So it's the best time to work in the garden is in the morning. The way it's set up, it gets all the afternoon sun and the evening sun. And it does not get shady in the evening in the garden until like 7:30. So it's really late by the time we can do anything in the garden. And by then we're usually pooped. Like just over it. But I'll flip it around here and show you the little raised bed they put together, temporary little thing, and I'm gonna put these herbs in there. Today I got them all spaced out the way I want them, and we're gonna get them stuck in the ground. But it works. Just some posts that were cut here already, and I've had these for weeks and weeks sitting in a plastic tote waiting to be planted out, and they're starting to look a little sad. They need to be trimmed back and they need to be planted out, but I just didn't have anywhere to plant them. So I've got basil all along this back because it likes less sun. I've got them set up because they'll get more sun. Yeah, a little snail. They'll get more sun on this side. So I've got them all set up so the ones that like more sun is on this side, and the ones that like less sun, it just works its way across this way. They're still going to get quite a bit of sun. Come about noon on, they'll have nothing but sun. But yeah, so this is my little temporary herb garden for now. Last year I had like the best herb garden I have ever had. My boys made a raised bed for me last year too, and then I had some of them in my green stock, and they've done really well in my green stock. I still have a bunch in my green stock because I overwintered some of them in there. I took like 2 sections of the green stock and I took them inside actually and overwintered them. Oh yeah, he's coming out. Let me see that. He's a tiny little thing.
I found him in that plant.
You found him in my plant?
Yes. I wish I could hold him when he's out.
Let me see.
Why does your ear have blood on it?
Look how tiny he is.
Mommy, look at his
so
ear.
Cute.
Let me know what he's doing.
He's a tiny little thing, huh?
He's making a shell.
Did he?
It's the sweetest thing I've seen.
Well, I don't know if I'd call a snail sweet, but he's cute. And Mr. Weston says it's too hot. Say it's too hot already, I'm sweating. Anyway, it's not getting any cooler, so we better get to it. Gotta get these buried in the ground, and then this evening we've got to do laundry because my guys are running out of jeans. They need some jeans washed up. I gotta do that, but it's been so hot, and we have to turn off the AC in the camper, which it's not doing a whole lot anyway, to run the washing machine. And when the AC, or when the generator's not hooked to the camper, I can't even run.
Is this a gift?
Anyway, I can't even run a fan in there for if the baby's sleeping or anything in the afternoon when the generator is not hooked up to the camper.
Yeah.
So, we either have to do laundry in the morning, or we have to do it in the evening when it's cooler and when nobody's sleeping. And I need to wait for help because we have to fill the water. It's a little more difficult by myself, and all the guys are in the hayfield. Everybody's working. I'm here, just me and the kids. So that makes it a little more difficult to do these things. But we get her done. Anyway, I gotta get busy. I got things to do, and it's not getting done standing here chatting.